Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Above the Fold on this rather chilly October day. Pretty chilly. Weather's finally starting to cool down here in Oklahoma, feeling pretty good. But today we have another one of our brilliant Vista reporters, Katie Standlee. And Katie wrote a story this week about a topic that has been huge in the state of Oklahoma for several years now. It's been several years, and it actually has to do with the dean of UCO's College of Education and Professional Studies, James Machell, who wrote a study, or did a study, if you will, about Oklahoma's education system, lower education system, talking high schools and elementary schools and middle schools and things like that, talking about how we could save money by Oklahoma school consolidation. Katie, what'd you find out?
So basically, Dr. Machell, he conducted a study called Right-Sizing School Oklahoma Districts.
Sure.
And basically, he was focusing on consolidating those school districts from his numbers that he found within the National Center for Education Statistics and the Oklahoma State Department of Education. He found that if we consolidated those schools that have less than 1,000 students, we would save $27 million.
Sure.
And so we have a total of 525 districts in Oklahoma, and
Sure.
of those 525, 391 of those have less than 1,000 students.
And that's wild to me, too, because I was a 6A kid, and I'm speaking in terms of sports here. I'm a sports guy. That's just how I do it. You got, 6A, 5A, 4A, and then you venture down, and the gaps aren't huge between, like, 6A and 5A, but you start getting down into those 2A schools, those Class A schools like Minco, and you got Vian, who I was talking to one of our professors about just a little bit ago, and it's the student populations drop heavily, and things like that. And he was talking about if you consolidate these schools, you can save money, and he means putting, just taking different schools and putting them together. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay.
So it would just be combining those schools that are close to other districts.
Okay, and I know he compared it to different states. It was like Alabama, Kentucky, I think Louisiana, and Utah, and I don't know what, like they had, like 160 to 200 districts or something. And
yeah, it was 1,141.
Okay.
While that average between the other four states, ours was 3,736. So we stuck out substantially in
Sure.
those other four states.
So basically the deal is just way too many districts. I mean, because whenever you venture out west, you got Minco, and it also mentions in there too. And I'm speaking of Minco, just talking about that way out west. Most of these schools are in rural areas, and I know he also talks about basically how people wouldn't really like it because they're afraid it could affect their community. So did he have any more to say about that or any?
For sure, yeah. So in the report, he talks about how these rural areas do have a fear of this consolidation because they would have a sense of lost identity.
Sure.
I mean, I'm from Bixby, so we're the Spartans.
Yeah.
If we consolidated with Broken Arrow,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be the Spartans anymore. So,
Right.
And some of these districts are rivals, so there would be tension there. And within that consolidation is a consolidation of administration too. So some lost jobs as well.
Oh, okay. So we're talking not just the combination of students. We're talking. This is already part of the problem, teachers losing jobs, people having to throw out emergency teaching certificates so people can go in. So we're talking integration of teachers into the same school. So you're losing maybe half and half, maybe not, maybe some. It's a wild topic. It really is. And it's something that's been discussed in the state, especially with last spring when the teachers went on their strike. I don't know if it's going to be fixed, but I do like the proposition. It's fantastic. If we can save any kind of money with this, that would be perfect. I don't know. Do you have any follow-up questions? Maybe something you thought about whenever you wrote this story? Anything?
Well, I did also reach out to Senator Gary Stanislawski.
Okay.
And he said, because one of my questions was, is this politically backed? Could we actually do something like this? And right now, it's not politically backed. I mean, they don't want to do it. A lot of the legislators are from these rural areas.
Sure.
And so, I mean, if they went for this, they wouldn't have a lot of support from their constituents anymore. So
Okay.
that's an issue we're running into as well. I mean, Dr. Machell had said that when he came out with this report, he knew it was basically political dynamite, but he wanted to raise that awareness and to get people thinking about ways to fund education.
And that's absolutely brilliant. I love the idea, and I understand it coming from those senators. It's you got to find a way to stay in office. That's your whole deal. You want to stay in office, but it's something that needs to be thought about. I love that he came out with it. Katie, thank you so much for the reporting. Thank you to all of our great Vista reporters out there, as well as our U Central reporters, all doing a great job. This has been Above the Fold with Austin Breasette and Katie Standlee.